live from the studios of Real Life Matters with your incredible host, DBoss, as she brings you entertainment, fashion, music, and interviews right here live at Real Life Matters. And here we go. Sit back and relax, cause we good to go. And we about to hit you off with the TV show. And we keeping it live, and we keep it brand new. And now we about to hit you with the interview. Yeah, we keeping it real, and we put it on the platter. What we talking about? Real Life Matters. Certified, never taking a loss. And here's your host, DBoss.
Welcome, everybody, to another great episode of Real Life Matters. Of course, I am your host, DBoss. I'm just hoping everybody's been doing their 15 minutes and more of laughing every day, because it keeps you looking youthful, it keeps you fit, it keeps you happy, it keeps you giving these positive vibes. Also, it's free, it's good for your soul, and it's good for the whole family and everybody, friends, family, everybody can get involved. If you have a more job that's more strict and you got to be stern all day, well, then you got to do at least 20-25 minutes, because you got to release all those endorphins in your body. But I'm glad with the ones, kudos to the ones that are kept on doing it. It's been a long time. They're still doing it, and everybody's still responding to me saying that it's something great that they're doing. But today I got some people on here today that's going to be talking to me, and we're going to be finding out what they're doing. And one of the company's name is Founders to Life Paper Publishing, and they have a Founders to Life Paper Foundation. So they have two different companies. Also, there's another lady that's going to be on, and she's a doctor. And we're going to find out what happened, how's their journey, what they went through, all the the nuts and bolts before they got to be where they are now, successful. So we're going to get right into it with Tabitha Rose and Dr. Vera Varman. Tarman. How are you doing?
Hello. I'm good. Thanks. Good. How are you?
I'm very good. Okay. Very good. Very good. No.
I'm good.
Vera, you all right?
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
We hear you. You're can't hear us.
Oh, okay. Well, what she can do is that, Vera, she can sign back in. I'll take her out, and she can sign back in, and she can come back in, and we'll just get started with you. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you. All right. Tabitha yes. Rose. I like the name. With Thank the you. Rose at the end. Okay. So everybody here at Real Life Matters like to know everybody's culture and their background, where they come from.
Mm-hmm.
So where do you come from?
I'm Canadian. I grew up in Vaughan, very Italian community.
Okay.
And I sort of adopted the Italian culture as my own growing up in the community. So, proudly Canadian, but the Italian culture had a big impact on my life. And my father's side is Hungarian. And I started to get to know a little more about his, Hungarian culture through my grandmother, especially when I volunteered to write her life story. And she said, well, if we want to do this right, we should go to Hungary, because we should see, visit the places where things happened. Like, she was a prisoner as a child. Her and her mother were taken to a forced labor camp where she was there for 2.5 years. So she wanted to take me to the places where things happened and really get to see her story and the setting of her story. And when I was doing that, I sort of fell in love with doing that and writing along the way. And that's when I had my first sort of aha moment around helping people put their life to paper.
Wow. And Vera, where do you come from?
Well, it's so interesting. I come from Germany, but I've lived in Canada most of my life. I came to Canada when I was 3 years old. So I come from a very Germanic background, and we moved to Toronto. There's in Ontario, Canada, where there was a German community, and I grew up there, and then I sort of became metropolitan or metro or whatever. Like, you know, Canada is very welcoming of all sorts of communities, which is what I love so much about it.
Right, it's the diversification, you know, and so many people know about everybody's culture and you know, their background. All right,
Yeah.
so Tabitha, what inspired you to open up the company that you're starting now? What inspired you? How did you get there?
Well, Life to Paper is 11 years this year. So it's been a little bit, but
11 years. Wow.
Yeah. But that's how it started. I mean, I was working in a totally different like career path. Well, I was new, right? I just graduated from university. I went and worked in politics, and then I went to work in capital markets, and I was trying to really push and force myself to be this version of myself that I thought the world would prefer. And I was having a tough time, like a really tough time. It was, I felt like a circle trying to fit into a square. But I thought that's what people do. You just push, you just keep going. And you know, in the midst of that, I was drinking. I was drinking a lot. That sort of helped me manage the uncomfortable feelings I had. And it all kind of became unmanageable. You know, I got fired. I proceeded to drink more and, you know, party more. And it just got worse. And luckily I had some good guidance. I had somebody who I met with who was trying to, you know, help me through this tough time. And that person said, he got me talking about writing my grandmother's book. And I was like, well, that's not anything. That's just there's a thing with my grandmother. And he said, why don't you lean into that? And I'm like, lean in. And I guess he got me to see that I could do this for other people. You know, I could, not just for my grandmother, I could help other people write their stories. And that kind of felt good because doing that with her felt really meaningful and purposeful. So truthfully, I don't think, I felt like I was left with no other choice but to do that. I've been fired, you know, it's kind of hard to get back out there. So I did, and I sat with a notepad and I wrote down, okay, well, what will I call this thing? You know, pen to paper, life to paper. And I checked, and lifetopaper.com was available, and I thought, oh, it's a sign. So that's how it started. I started writing other people's life stories for them, you know, one and another and another. And then it just sort of evolved. So one day I had someone approach me who'd already written their story. I said, well, why do you need me? And they said, well, I've got to get it out there, you know? I said, well, that's not really what I do. And he said, well, I think you can figure it out. And this man had a really brave story, talked about surviving childhood sexual abuse. And he was dying at the time. And so I felt like urgent and it felt important. So I was like, okay, let's figure out this publishing thing. And from then it just continued. So now we're Life to Paper is a publisher. We publish stories that touch on overcoming mental health, addiction, trauma, grief, and more. And like that's how what it shaped into being. And you know, in that time, I got sober, and actually, Dr. Tarman Vera had a part to play in that because she was the doctor in my treatment center.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's
so
funny
how did you feel, Tabitha, while you were going through, before you fully, you know, went through recovery and now you're, you know, you don't have no more alcohol addiction. So how did this help you when you were writing other people's stories?
I think my first like fork in the road, like recovery isn't always a straight path. And I think, you know, I was on that path, but, you know, successful, you know, kind of sober, not sober for about 4 or 5 years. But having this when I finally kind of discovered this, like, you know, purpose, I feel it's purpose to help people write and, you know, get their stories out into the world. I felt like I had this anchor now, you know, no matter what, I had something to always kind of ground me, that felt meaningful. Because I think when you're struggling with addiction, sometimes you feel like it's just the shame, you know, you don't feel like you're worth much. Your self-worth is totally depleted. So it gave me something to always come back to keep me sort of going in the right direction. And yeah, now I have.
Well, that's so now, and but see, you can inspire so many people. Like, it doesn't mean because, yes, you said you got fired, you got this, you got that, but look at you now. And, you know, and a lot of people, and that's something of a big accomplishment for you. And not just for you, and for your growth. So you've grown a lot, you know, and you've learned, and, you know, so many people can look to you now. So here is, you know, Vera, Dr. Vera, can you tell us some stuff about yourself? Oh, she's here too.
Okay. There we go.
All right. There you are. So can you tell us some stuff about your
I can't hear you.
Can you hear us? Okay.
No.
Well, you can come back in. Okay, so tell us about the foundation. Sorry, people, this is Real Life Matters, and, you know, things like this is happening. So
it happens.
It doesn't make anything wrong, because everything is being captured. So when, you know, we'll get it in. Dr. Vera will get here. She'll just have to come back in, and when she comes back in, she'll speak. That's all. All right. So you started, pen to paper,
life to paper.
Life to paper.
Life to paper. Yeah, that's okay.
I'm thinking, I guess you put life to paper. And okay, so then you went and created a foundation too. So what? Yeah. So what made you want to do that?
So the Life to Paper was founded in 2015. So, you know, I'm doing this. I'm helping people. And while I'm doing, like, I spend a lot of time with people, right, as we talk about their stories. And we put them to paper. And I had people start telling me, they're like, I mean, they would say crazy things like, you know, Tabitha, even if you never give me a book or you never write, you know, this has been worth it. And I'd say, like, what do you mean this has been worth it? Because I didn't see, you know, we're having conversations for the purpose of writing their book, but I didn't, you know, I only saw it as that. And they said, well, this time together. And I sort of thought, like, I dismissed it at first, like, oh, you're just being nice or something. And then, you know, people started to tell me that, like, they'd, you know, experienced a sort of freedom and, like, change as a result of doing this. And, like, it helped them see things a different way. It was, they were telling me, I guess it was therapeutic. And I thought, well, that's amazing. And someone I worked with, an editor, invited me. She was doing some volunteer work with a treatment center. She invited me she said, why don't you come and, you know, maybe do a little workshop and people can write about their lives. And I went and did that, and it was really meaningful. Like, I got to sit with people who are, you know, in treatment for substance use and addiction. And, you know, it was a powerful experience. And so I started to think to myself, like, I kind of want to do more of this. Like, if this putting life to paper can help people heal, well, I want to bring it to people who really, you know, are in need of healing, like, and addiction and mental health. Like, that's something I can relate to and I connect to. I understand it because I've been there. So in 2020, I decided to start a nonprofit to do that. And so that's what I do. Go into mental health treatment centers, run, you know, life to paper workshops. Yeah, I've done it in Canada, in the US, where I also used to live for a while. And it's amazing. It's like you see people sort of, the light come on, you know, like you see them at first, they're sitting in a chair and they're at what they feel is like the lowest point of their life. and they start to reflect and start to write. And I think I like to help them shift the perspective that they're past the lowest part, because now they're getting well. Now they're in a place to help them get well. So they're actually, a little bit ahead of where they think they are. And I think that sort of shifts the thinking into like more positive, that they're on their way. And some people have shared some really incredible stories in these treatment centers. I've talked to survivors of human sex trafficking and people who've lived on the streets for many years, and it's been incredible.
Okay. Well, Dr. Vera, you there?
Yeah, I am. Can you hear me okay?
Okay. Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell us about your part now. What role do you play in all this?
Okay. Well, I come in when Tabitha asked me to be part of a project that she started, which is this book that she's wanting to showcase, and that is when we forgive. I forget the name of it. Is that the right? Is that the right? When we forgive. Is that the name? Yes.
Yeah. When we forgive.
So, okay. I should really remember. Anyway, she asked me to be part of that, and I thought it was a really good. This project, the book, is a really good project, because in line with Tabitha's goal, which is to, speak to a message of people who have addiction, and also people who live with people who have addiction, or just addiction in general. One of the key pieces in recovery is forgiveness, because it's one thing to get clean and sober. That's my job as a doctor, is to help people do that. But we want to be in a position where we can then support recovery, because you put down the drink, you put down the drug, now you have to.
Yes.
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh,
but that's okay.
Again.
Well, Dr. Vera's in and out, and she's busy.
And she's much smarter than I am.
She is.
You know what might be better if you didn't.
Can you hear me?
But it's okay. She's okay.
If you took the AirPods out, because the sound is a little crackly, it might be better just coming through your phone.
Okay.
That's just sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. Well, everybody, this is something really, because you're in front of people. This is something that's real. This is a real matter that Tabitha has to deal, with this, and at least you have your doctor who helps her through it. How often do you see that? And then she's in the journey. She's in your journey also.
It's pretty special. It's pretty special. Yeah.
Yes. So, Dr. Vera, how do you feel that you're part of all this?
Hear me okay?
No, I think you have to unplug it. Unplug.
You have to unplug it.
Yeah. It's the plug. Now it's a plug.
No, it's not.
No.
I'm glad that Tabitha knows.
I'm trying all the things I've tried before, because I've had all this happen before.
Okay. So no, but it's a good journey that you have your doctor, because sometimes once the doctor's finished, then on to the next patient.
Yeah.
At least she's still in the journey.
Well, the good thing about recovery, is it's a community. So recovery gives you this community to plug into if you're willing, right? And for me, like I was willing to do whatever was suggested to me so that I could be well, so that I could live. Because at many points I was actually, I wasn't sure if I would. Like things got pretty bad for me out there. And so whatever people said, like they said things like, you should join an AA home group, and you should, work these steps and help people. And I was like, yeah, I'm willing to do that.
I'm here, but I'm not.
Okay. Well,
willing to do whatever.
So this is something that, at least you as an ex-addict, you wanted to do it, because it's important that you wanted to do it. Not somebody wanted them to do it. Yes, everybody told you, but then you had to come to a realization yourself that you wanted to do that. Correct?
Yeah. Correct.
So that was something.
Yeah.
That was something that you wanted to do. So when you came to that realization, when you hit rock bottom, you said, you know what? I got to get help.
Yeah.
And then look at where you are now, today.
Yeah. So
You
the
know?
reason how this book came together is actually some of the Life to Paper authors who have other books, right? They have their memoir, like a doctor's memoir of recovering from addiction, or we have another book helping parents of teens that are struggling with mental health crises. Like, a group of our authors came together and said, we want to do something to give back to help support the foundation. And I said, well, that's so nice. Like, and they said, well, what, we could do a collection of stories. And we sort of started talking. I said, okay, well, what stories will we tell? Like, we just started getting together and chatting. And in our conversations, forgiveness kept coming up. And so then we decided, okay, this book is going to be around forgiveness. So let's tell stories of when forgiveness felt at one point like the hardest thing, whether it was needing to forgive someone, a parent, perhaps a partner, wanting to, or, being in need of forgiveness, wanting to be forgiven for harms we've caused, or self-forgiveness. So everyone chose a different story. And the idea was that we would tell the stories of finding forgiveness when it seemed impossible, so that other people who feel that way now could be inspired, could see that maybe there is a way to find forgiveness and also find like a healing and freedom for yourself once you do so. So my story talks about, my father's addiction growing, as I was a young person, and I experienced that. And then me ultimately experiencing it too. And us having this moment where I really felt like I understood him, because, him and I understood what it felt to struggle in the same way. And then forgiveness happened. It wasn't even, it wasn't planned. It wasn't like I set out and did steps to get there. It happened. And what that did for me, and also helped me realize that freedom could also be a bit of a spectrum. It could look different. I used to judge forgiveness and think like forgiveness means me and this person go running off into the sunset in like happiness. For my father and I, it's not like that. We're okay. We're okay. There's peace. There's a relationship, but it is not the, I don't know. Some might say the best relationship.
You forgive, but doesn't mean that you're going to forget. Yes, you let it go so you can grow, but it doesn't mean you're going to forget. You just have to forgive so you can clear your aura in yourself, so that okay, I'm not holding that in myself.
Yeah.
Right, Dr. Bear? Are you there?
I'm there. Can you hear me okay?
Better.
Perfect.
Much better.
Okay. Let's hope it works. Yeah.
Yes. So like with the journey, and she was talking about the journey, and we were saying that how you were there with her, because a lot of the doctors were just went came on with the next thing, but you're still here. So tell us a little about that, Vera.
Well, like I was saying before, I think that forgiveness is a really important part of recovery, and I saw this book as an opportunity to explore that. And as Tabitha was saying, there's so many different stories, all with different aspects of forgiveness. So there's Tabitha's story, and she asked me, would I like to contribute my story in this, so that I came on there not as a doctor, but just as a person with my own story of forgiveness. And I thought, yes, I'd like to do that, because it's just the more you hear stories exploring how they forgave, it helps other people. I was really surprised when we talked about this, how many people said, yeah, we don't talk
about that, right? Yeah, but it's okay. But and part of her story, when she comes back, she can tell us a little bit of her story. Her story, what happened to her, how you guys connected. But you see, when your forgiveness is something really big, so you had to literally sit down and say, you know what, I'm not going to get better if I don't forgive.
Well, that's what I was told, you know, like I said,
Yeah.
like things got bad for me, and I was like, I looked at people who were sober and had been sober for many years, and I said, like, I was willing to take any of their suggestions, and they told me that, like, you have to not only like make amends, make amends with people you've caused harm to, but, you know, and forgive, like your life depends on it, which you have to let go, like as if you're letting go in order to save your life, because really it is. Like for an addict to hold on to resentment, you know, these types of feelings is not conducive to well-being, to my well-being. So I was willing. I was willing. Yeah, no, you tell me to let go, show me how, and I'm gonna do it, because I want to live. I have purpose and a reason, and I like want to be well. We say a lot of us, you hear it a lot. People in recovery is like, I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. Yes. And that's really it.
And you got to surround yourself with different people, different types of people, you know, or else you couldn't do what you're doing right now, you know, life to paper. So, exactly. You know, you doing that, you're living that every single day, you know, maybe anybody. And also Dr. Vera, she had a little bit of her story that she has to tell. So what story did you have to say there?
I'll try to throw it in before I get cut off again. I have a bad connection. I'm sorry. So my story, Tabitha asked me to share my own story. So my story is similar to Tabitha's. Our stories are the most similar in the book. I had a mother that I had who was an alcoholic and then died early. And I spent many of my years holding.
Okay, well that's okay. So you know part of the story, right? I'm you know her story with her mom, right? So
it's a really brave, powerful story.
I think I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Let me just throw in before I get cut off again. So the story that I wrote was the many years that it took to come to a place where I was angry at her to forgiving her, and then as a result forgiving myself. Like it was like reflections on forgiveness over years and how forgiveness changes over the years. So I found it a very useful thing to do for myself, because it's not the kind of thing you talk about to friends when you're out for coffee. But sitting there, you know, writing life to paper, it just helped me realize that I had progressed far more than I thought I had. And this was a real way to capture that. And we're hoping, I know Tabitha is too, that when people read it, they'll have the same experience that, oh yeah, this happened, and here are the changes that I've made. Because we don't talk about this stuff enough in, you know, regular society.
No. And they don't talk about forgiveness enough. You know, that's a big part of it.
Well, just like we talk about that you have to forgive, but not how to forgive, especially when, you know, you have had an injury done to you, but it doesn't matter. After a point, you let it go. Like Tabitha was saying, you have to let it go in order to survive, and, you know, in a happy way. But how to do that is something that we're not taught. And so this gives like 12 or 10 different stories of how people forgive.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So
they're all different.
How many pages is the book?
I have it right here. So here's the book right here. When We Forgive. There's actually 15 stories. It's about a 200-page book. So stories kind of vary in length. You know, some people's are, it depends, but I mean, it's not about the length. It's really about, you know, some people are very skilled at writing a short story. I am not. I'm used to more long form, like writing a whole book. So it was tough for me to keep it, you know. Our editor, Dawn, you know, I said, Dawn, I'm gonna need you. And Dawn did an excellent job in working with every author and, you know, getting their story to a place that they were very happy with and was, you know, in publishable form, because that's not easy. But yeah, they're all different. Like addiction and mental health are obviously big themes in this book, but you know, some stories touch on other difficult things like, you know, grief, you know, other types of abuse people experienced. So there's all different things, you know, it's stories of hurt and healing and everything in between, really. So
all right. So where can you get this book?
We're all in Canada at this time. That you can find it on Indigo shelves across the country, Indigo chapters and Kohl's, and online you can pretty much buy it wherever books are sold around the world. So from Amazon to Barnes and Noble, to Waterstones and Hudson and all the major retailers. But in Canada, we like to encourage people to go to Indigo and some independent bookstores around the city of Toronto as well.
Okay. And are there any shout outs that you would like to give your people?
Yeah, well, everyone who's part of this project, like everyone who like basically decided to share their story in service of others, because all proceeds from this book go to support the foundation. So everyone involved has donated their time and their energy to help other people. So first of all, to everyone involved. And this coming Tuesday, May 19th, we have an event where a few of us, including Vera, are speaking at the Leah Poslan's Theater at 7:30. And the event is open to all. It's going to be an intimate discussion on forgiveness. And we're going to be telling our stories. So thank you to Leah Poslan's, because they're so kindly, in recognition of Mental Health Awareness Month, they offered their space to us. And yeah, everyone's invited. Tickets are on sale. Now they're $20. However, you know, anyone who, you know, maybe potentially can't afford a ticket, please reach out to the Life to Paper and we're happy to get one for you.
Okay, is that a social media handle or the website?
Yeah, at Life to Paper, and it's LIFETO paper, not number 2. You can find all the information about the event there. Okay,
well, I you know, having you on today, you know, Tabitha, is just been, you know, it's just amazing. You know, and thank you. You know, I know how hard it is and difficult it is to share that story. And, you know, but what's going to happen? I've done interviews. I've done things with people having very, very touching, difficult stories. And, you know, this is not easy for her to go tell public, a lot of people, that this is what's going on with her. And this is what is the journey continues on, because every day she has to fight. And I give you kudos, you know, for being brave and coming in front of people and telling people this, because it's going to touch some people.
Thank you.
What you're going through is going to touch people. And, you know, and people reach out to her, you know, and, you know, I had a similar, somebody that came on my show a couple of years back, few women, and so many people reached out to you after seeing this, seeing what you're doing, seeing what Dr. Vera is doing, you know, and, you know, helping, and you're going to see such a big return from that, you know, and my heart just goes out to you, you know, and you just keep doing the good work, and, you know, and you're going to come back and you're going to tell us, you know, a little bit later, like who reached out to you. And you know, and just, you know, just be real with them, and, you know, and just touch, because people are going to touch you from, this is going out worldwide. So people are going to reach out to you, so just be ready to respond. And you got the support there with Dr. Vera. She can help you too. So, you know, thank you for sharing your journey and your story here with us and telling us and also Dr. Vera, thank you for sharing part of your story. and your what happened to you and your family, because you know your families are going to see this thing and they're going, oh, you know, oh well, you know what I mean. Oh well, this is your story. It's not their story. It's your story. So don't feel no way. It's your story. It's not their story. So you know what you went through and what happened to you. So it's not, and your story is going to help change people.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for giving us the ability to help get our stories out there, to help people. Thank you.
And thank you very, don't worry about it, you know, in and out, but you made an impact also to Dr. Vera, you know, telling us things and different things, and people could put it together, but that's okay. You can go see the book, you know, stuff like that. And we know where, and people will know where to find you and, you know, reach out to you, and, you know, just look out for these people that are going to be, you know, reaching out to you, so that you can be there. And you're welcome to come back. I would like to see an update of how everything went.
Well, I'd love you to come to the event as well. If you are available, please, you be our guest. We'd love to have you.
It's on Monday. It's Monday, right?
Tuesday.
Oh, it's Monday. What day is it?
Tuesday.
Oh,
Tuesday
okay,
the 19th.
The long weekend.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the day after. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I do want to thank you and Dr. Vera for coming on tonight and sharing your journey, your story. You guys get out there, support them, get to the event. Even if you don't make it to the event, they're still there. You know this Life to Paper and publishing and Life to Paper foundation. So, you know, they're telling stories, and you know the main key to it is forgiveness. So you guys need to get the book. Show the book again, Tabitha. Sure. There it is. It's a nice color. It's green. It's like a forest green.
That's actually that's an olive branch. You know, the universal symbol of forgiveness.
Yes. And it's back, and it's an easy paperback. So you guys get out there, you know, and if you want them to initial a copy for you, I'm pretty sure they can, you know, just reach out to them and she could initial it and give you a copy and send you a heart or something in it and send it down to you. But thank you guys for tonight, and you guys, you know, and everybody that's been tuning in. Thank you, Vera. You got to come on again.
Thank you so much for having us, DBoss.
Okay, that's no problem. I thank everybody for tuning in here. With everybody here, Tabitha Rose, Dr. Vera. You know what? Life to Paper. You know, you're going to see a lot more of them. This is not the last time. So everybody, thank you for tuning in. Real Life Matters, DBoss. Good night and bye for now.
Good night.
All right, join us next time at Real Life Matters with your host, DBoss, as she brings you some more entertainment, fashion, music, and interviews right here on Real Life Matters. We got to go. Okay, that's it, we got to go. And we just hit you off with a TV show. And we kept it hot, and we kept it brand new. And we just hit you off with an interview. And we kept it real, and we put it on the platter. Talking about that Real Life Matters. Certified, never taking a loss. And that was your host, DBoss.